What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Personally, one of the characters I like most from Dragon Ball Super was Cabba. I know he wasn't used much, and that's kind of what I want to change here. I feel that Cabba could have been used a lot more effectively in Super. And potentially we could see some more of him in the future, but just in the arcs that we were given, he could have definitely been used more. Specifically in the Tournament of Power. Today, we're here to completely change that though. Making a video focused on both him and Vegeta. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes. If we hit that, I might actually do a part 2 to this scenario. Anyways, let's begin. The change here would begin after Zamasu. During the short time skip between that arc and the Tournament of Power, Vegeta's kind of bored. Sure, he is training and all, but he wants to find another way to get stronger, something more fulfilling than just being trained himself. He begins thinking, trying to remember what Goku's done in his past. And one thing that Vegeta hasn't really done is taken on a student. Sure, he's trained with Trunks before. A little bit with each version of Trunks, but more so with the future version. But regardless of the Trunks variant, he hasn't really trained with others much. And maybe it'll be fun for once to try and do this. And more fulfilling than just regular training. Having a student could help teach him some things. As cliche as it sounds. And he already does kind of have a student. Although the issue is, he isn't exactly from this universe. It's Cabba from Universe 6, that one Saiyan that he met before during the Universe 6 tournament. You know, he kinda did want to visit Universe 6 to see Sadala, but also, this gives him an opportunity to train with someone, killing two birds with one stone. Goku's busy training with Whis still, but Vegeta asks if he can depart for a bit, just for like a month or so. While the training here is beneficial, he kinda does want to get rid of the monotony now. Doing something different for once can help change some stuff up. Vegeta asks Whis simply, can he go to Universe 6 for a bit? Whis is really the only person that could take him there, but he accepts. He says it's fine as long as he checks with Vados and Champa. And they're not necessarily sure what Vegeta wants there, but he tells them he's here to visit planet Sadala and see Cabba, wanting to train him. Champa's definitely not opposed to this. I mean, if it makes his Saiyan stronger, then whatever. Sure, let Vegeta come here. What a stupid thing for their universe to do, empowering Universe 6 instead of their own. These guys are schmucks. Whis asks if Goku wants to go, but he's gonna stay back and train here. He feels that he could still break his limits here, but wishes Vegeta luck on his little vacation. And so, Whis takes Vegeta to Universe 6, taking him to planet Sadala where he'll find Cabba. Vegeta's actually pretty surprised to see this planet. It's not really like anything he's seen before. It vaguely does remind him of planet Vegeta from beforehand. But of course this is a completely different place. Still, it's weird seeing a society like this, especially a society full of Saiyans and Saiyans that are actually good people. It's like the exact opposite of what his planet was, or at least what he remembers of planet Vegeta. He does want to learn more about the place and people, but first he's gonna have to meet up with Cabba. The good thing is, he does remember his energy from before, trying to sense it and then flying out wherever he finds him. As you'd probably expect, Cabba's surprised to see him. He didn't expect Vegeta to show up anytime soon, and he wonders why he's here and how he's here. Like, can he just hop universes whenever he feels like it or something? He doesn't know. Vegeta explains why he's here. He wants to train Cabba like he promised, as well as visiting the planet, but mainly the first thing. After seeing what Cabba accomplished during the tournament, he knows that he has a lot of potential, and possibly Vegeta could learn some things from him. But more importantly, Vegeta will be able to teach him some things, like being able to go beyond Super Saiyan. He learned Super Saiyan really quickly, so maybe he can get Super Saiyan 2 next, and possibly forms beyond that. With Cabba being Cabba, of course he's not going to turn this down. He's excited to see Vegeta here and follows every order, taking it very seriously, a little bit too seriously. And you know what? Vegeta's actually fine with that. That's just what he wants. He wants to whip Cabba into shape, getting him to go beyond Super Saiyan. Training begins immediately. The first step is trying to get Super Saiyan 2, which is the next natural progression. Vegeta's trying to think of what to do. Last time, getting Cabba angry worked to get him Super Saiyan. But this time that might be a little bit more tough, especially with the anger needed to go Super Saiyan 2. So first they will have to actually work on Super Saiyan. This isn't too tough. Vegeta shows him the principles, going through even some of his old grades that he used. It's the first time in a while that he uses Super Vegeta, or Super Saiyan Grade 2. He tells Cabba that this isn't his goal, only a step to it. Cabba learns that there's a certain point where he gets efficient enough with Super Saiyan to use it without any stamina drain. The great thing is now Cabba's pretty close to that. Of course, after learning Super Saiyan, he didn't waste any time, trying to see if he could use it more and more often. He actually tells Vegeta that he inadvertently did it on his own, which really surprises him. I mean, think back to the Cell Saga. Look how long it took Goku to learn that. He got Super Saiyan all the way back on Namek, and he didn't get Super Saiyan Grade 4 until the Cell Saga. To be fair, some of the time was spent trying to theorize what to do, and Cabba has an advantage because he actually knows what he's aiming for. Well, they do have a month, that might actually be enough time. So the two train together, with Vegeta mostly using Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 just so Cabba learns what it's like. And this is where the Universe 6 Saiyan's true potential starts to show. So in the Tournament of Power, it took Cabba getting really angry for him to actually go Super Saiyan 2. But if we look back to when Caulifla did it, well, she just did it because she felt like she needed the power. It wasn't necessarily out of anger. This is pretty standard with the Universe 6 Saiyans just because of how they live. Accessing this great power isn't too hard for them, and Vegeta comes to learn that really quickly. Cabba's pretty strong as is, and especially in Super Saiyan. And after a lot of time training, they're eventually able to get him to Super Saiyan 2. Vegeta's proud of this, not only proud of Cabba, but proud of himself. He takes pride in the fact that he taught someone how to do this. But Cabba knows this isn't the end of his power. He knows there's something beyond Super Saiyan 2 even, that blue form that Vegeta was using. Well, actually there's a few forms beyond Super Saiyan 2. He tells him about Super Saiyan 3, but Vegeta personally thinks it's useless. He doesn't even have the form because he doesn't think it's worth bothering with. And he would think the next natural step for Cabba is Super Saiyan God, but he doesn't think it'll be as simple as it was with Super Saiyan 2. For Super Saiyan God, the first person to get it was Goku using the ritual, although for Vegeta, he got it on his own. Just by training with Beerus and Whis, he was able to get it that way. So maybe, as long as Cabba is able to access God Ki in some way, he could pick up on Super Saiyan God himself. A ritual could work, but Vegeta thinks this is a more efficient way, and he wonders what the best possible way to do this would be. But he gets a really simple idea. He transforms into Super Saiyan God, letting Cabba see it for the first time. Red hair, that's weird. And Vegeta says this is the first step to attaining blue. He places a hand on Cabba's back, giving him some of his energy. This isn't supposed to give him the form, rather infuse some God Ki within him so he actually has some of it boiling up. First, he'll need to actually get Super Saiyan God and try and master that. And once he does, he'll combine it with the power of Super Saiyan and get Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta doesn't want to be gone from home too long, but he still does have some time left. He doesn't know if he can necessarily get Cabba to reach Super Saiyan God on his own, and says it might be best for Cabba to see Vados. However, with his remaining time, he's going to stick around and try and see more of Planet Sadala. It does seem pretty interesting after all. It's a planet of Saiyans that's not actually full of enslaved murderers. A very different and nice perspective on the Saiyan race. Everyone's interested to see a Saiyan from another universe, and with Vegeta being Vegeta, he would introduce himself as a prince, even though everyone is dead and he's really only the prince of like a few people, but still, he's a prince technically, so that counts for something. But by this point, Vegeta decides it's time to go home. It has been a month, and the training's been pretty beneficial. Plus, Bulma's going to be giving birth soon, and Vegeta definitely wants to be there for that. So, he says goodbye to Cabba, and says they'll see each other sometime soon. But little does Vegeta know, it's going to be a lot sooner than he thinks. While he's enjoying some peace and quiet on Earth back with his family, suddenly Goku comes in and tells him about the Tournament of Power. Aw crap, what happened this time? Anyways, everything in Universe 7 goes normal, so let's actually shift over to Universe 6 and go back to Cabba. When Vegeta left, Cabba asked Vados if he could train with her, and she actually accepted it. Champa doesn't really mind, especially because that means he might have someone to rival the two Saiyans in Beerus' universe. If his brother trains two Saiyans, maybe he should train a Saiyan too. So Cabba spent some time on Champa's planet, and they're actually really surprised with his power and progress. He's already surpassed Frost, and at this rate he might even surpass Hit. He just has to figure a way to utilize his God Ki in a manner that actually lets him transform, just like Vegeta was telling him. Training with Vados might help that. Vados can tell that Cabba has a lot of God Ki, surprised at how much Vegeta infused within him. Even though his power boost from it was only temporary, Vegeta's God Ki lingers within there, now becoming Cabba's own. And just around the time the Tournament of Power is announced, Cabba actually learns how to use Super Saiyan God, although he doesn't really have too much control over it. He still needs a bit more practice, and there's a few days until the tournament, so maybe he could do something until then. But also, he's going to need to recruit some other members for the team, specifically some other Saiyans. Champa wants to see if there's any Saiyans as strong as him, and clearly there's not. Cabba's definitely the strongest in Universe 6 right now. So it's definitely going to be hard to find someone comparable, but once he's back on Sadala he could actually check out some people. This of course leads to him meeting Kale and Caulifla, and he shows his power to the two of them. Much of their meeting goes really normal at first. Cabba shows off Super Saiyan, Caulifla tries to access it for herself, and then Kale ends up going berserk. And when Kale goes berserk, more things change here. In Super Saiyan, Cabba and Caulifla combined aren't enough to stop her. But luckily this isn't the extent of Cabba's power for now. He tells Caulifla to stand back as he handles this, transforming into Super Saiyan God, going to fight Kale and easily dismantling her, ending her berserk state, sending her back into her base form. Of course Caulifla wants to know what this is now. Red hair, she thought Super Saiyan was good, but this is something else. She couldn't really sense Cabba's power though, but she could tell it was really strong enough to defeat Kale apparently. Well, way stronger than that. He did it really casually. He tells him that it's going to take a while for them to get this form. This isn't something that could be attained easily. However, they can at least try for Super Saiyan 2. So for the time being before the tournament, maybe they could train for that. It might not be possible, but it's at least worth a shot. And for the rest of the time, they train for this. Up until the actual tournament begins. In terms of the Team Universe 6, we're going to be focusing more on them since this is really about Cabba. but we will have some focus on Vegeta and a little bit of Universe 7 too, although they're not going to be the main topic. They'll only be discussed where they need to be. In terms of power, Cabba's actually the strongest on his team now, even stronger than Hit at this point. Some people might think that's blasphemy, but consider how strong the Universe 6 Saiyans are. I can make a whole video based on how Cabba's underrated in terms of power, and it's kind of off topic, but I'm actually making a video where I'm going to power scale every single character in the Tournament of Power, so look out for that. But yeah, even without that, it should be abundantly clear how strong these people are. And now with Cabba actually in Super Saiyan God, he's really strong. Universe 6 performs really well. Everyone else is pretty much as strong as they were before. But with Hit and Cabba on the team, they're able to do really well, defeating a lot of the weaker fighters. Cabba does want to face Vegeta though, and he tries to, but they keep getting interrupted. Maybe later on in the tournament they could face each other. They met up before the actual tournament started and promised to fight. Vegeta wants to see where his student actually is in terms of power now. Apparently he's finally got Super Saiyan God, and that's definitely something Vegeta wants to see for himself. Kale and Cauliflower are at the same strength as they were. Cauliflower eventually did get Super Saiyan 2 during the training, and during the tournament. Kale goes past her limits too. Cabba mostly leaves him to themselves so he could fight people on his own. But still, Cauliflower really wants to get Super Saiyan God. She keeps seeing other people use it too. Cabba uses it, Goku uses it, and Vegeta's using some weird blue thing. She's just getting really jealous. And Kale doesn't really care too much, but since Cauliflower's getting jealous, she gets jealous too. Maybe becoming a god would be pretty cool. As the tournament goes on, Goku eventually faces Jiren like normal. And this is a big spectacle, and it's important to note that it goes pretty much the exact same. The reason I'm noting this too is because he fights Kale and Cauliflower later on just like normal. But this time things are going to change a lot. Goku forces Kale and Cauliflower into fusion, creating Kefla. Pretty standard for now. Cabba's amazed to see them fusing. He knew that they had a plan, but he didn't know it would be this strong. To be fair though, they are fighting a really weakened version of Goku since he's really worn out from the Spirit Bomb and everything beforehand. But he's at least able to put up a fight against this fusion, eventually having to crank up past Super Saiyan God into Blue. The other universes watched on actually pretty worried about this. Universe 6 seems to be pretty strong too. It seems they may have underestimated them. Even with that Hit guy out of the ring, the Saiyans are just as impressive as the ones from Universe 7. Universe 3 is getting pretty worried too. Maybe they should try fusing, breaking out their ultimate fighter. Kefla's fight with Goku starts normally, but Goku then goes into Ultra Instinct. Kefla knows that she needs more power. She wants to force more power to come out of this fusion somehow. Super Saiyan 2 isn't enough. And this is where more of Universe 6's growth comes in handy. The Saiyans from that universe are really overpowered in terms of their growth. Not to mention, this is a fusion. As we saw with Gotenks in the Buu Saga, he forced out Super Saiyan 3 just because he felt like it, and because the fusion had enough power, even if Goten and Trunks individually didn't know it. And Kefla tries the same thing. She knows she might have some God Ki within her thanks to Cabba, as she tries using every reserve of power that she has. Goku watches on as suddenly during the fight, her hair begins to change color, turning red instead of green. It eventually stops flickering, and Kefla is revealed to be in Super Saiyan God, something that Goku didn't even expect. Just as she's about to attack Goku, the entire arena begins shaking. They look over and see Universe 3's fighters have fused into Aniraza, attacking all the fighters, but mainly focusing on Goku and Kefla, seeing as they're the strongest ones here besides Jiren. A massive mouth beam comes their way. Goku easily dodges it, and Kefla jumps out of the way. She's pretty annoyed by this, and decides she'll take out this monster herself. This new power of hers should be more than enough. She powers up further, going in to fight the giant robot. She doesn't want anyone interrupting their fight. Briefly, she starts fighting with Aniraza, as Goku also tries to fight her. Using this distraction, he might be able to defeat the fusion, as well as Universe 3's fighters. While they weren't necessarily trying to work together, the two of them do knock out Aniraza, which then focuses Kefla's attention back on Goku. Goku's quickly running out of Ultra Instinct, and he needs to make use of this. But there's something really good about this. He can tell that Kefla can't control her power. This is the first time she's used Super Saiyan God. There's no way she'll have a grasp on it. And this may actually work in his favor. He remembers back to Vegeta, as Kefla suddenly defuses. She was at full power the whole time, in a form that she didn't really know how to use. By forcing all of this energy out of her, she actually shortened the time of the fusion, unknowingly sending them back to normal. Goku takes this opportunity to quickly knock them out, finishing the fight as he drops out of Ultra Instinct. That was a really close call. Back to Cabba, he actually gets to stay in the ring more, getting the fight with Vegeta that he wanted. But first they have to take on another foe, Toppo. Vegeta wanted to do this fight himself, but Cabba wants to make sure that Vegeta's not knocked out. He wants that battle. So he actually jumps in and helps defeat Toppo. Vegeta's power in Blue Evolution combined with that of God Cabba, it's really a lot to take in. And even though Toppo is a fearsome foe, the great thing is he's not in his God of Destruction mode yet, making it easier for the two of them to knock him out. And now, the two of them can finally have their fight. Vegeta wants Cabba to show him everything he's got, and he'll do the same. Cabba powers up in his God form. while Vegeta powers down, going into his god form to match his student. The two clash with great speed. Vegeta definitely has an advantage, not only in speed but power. He's been using this form much longer and has a greater experience with it. And although Cabba does have some familiarity with it, he's not on the level of Vegeta, but his power still helps him. The two exchange blows. A massive but friendly battle between master and student. Vegeta's amazed with Cabba's growth. It hasn't been that long, but already he's in Super Saiyan God. He's still not on the power level of Vegeta, sure, but this is something else. He wonders if his student can get blue now. He knows Cabba has control over Super Saiyan, and he has somewhat of a control over Super Saiyan God. Maybe Vegeta could force that out of him. Vegeta goes into his blue form, fighting Cabba and telling him that his universe is at stake. If he doesn't do this now, he's gonna lose and his universe will get erased. He overwhelms his student, giving tough love as Cabba's beaten up. Cabba takes these words to heart, trying to figure out something to do. He has to focus, channeling the two powers of Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan at once. Vegeta launches a Gallic gun at Cabba, with Cabba doing the same, trying to reflect it. His power's not enough, and he tries to find more within him. This is his last shot, and suddenly, he gets that surge of power. Pushed into a corner, Cabba's power explodes once more, going into Super Saiyan Blue as he fires the beam back towards Vegeta. Vegeta smiles. He was holding back, but he's glad to see that his students finally reached this power. Cabba's glad too, and is amazed by it, but he knows it's still not enough. Vegeta has that blue evolution form that he got recently, and Cabba's definitely outnumbered. But the two of them are still content. They both got what they wanted, and Vegeta makes a promise to Cabba. He'll win the tournament, and he'll revive everyone. This is where Universe 6 will lose. But Vegeta tells him it's not the end of Universe 6. He'll bring it back and see his student again someday, but he tells Cabba not to go down without a fight. The two of them get back to fighting. Vegeta shows his full power, not holding back at all as Cabba fights in blue. They enjoy themselves, but of course, Vegeta comes out on top, having a great advantage in power. He says goodbye to Cabba as he's knocked out of the ring, and Cabba does something surprising. He still has a lot of energy left, and he actually lends it to Vegeta, telling him to make good use of it. With this, Cabba is eliminated, and Universe 6 is erased. Vegeta now has a simple task: win. Let's skip forward a bit to when Goku, 17, and Vegeta are fighting against Jiren. Vegeta has a lot more energy here. He didn't need to blow himself up against Toppo, and with Cabba's energy boost, Vegeta's almost at full stamina. He's been pacing himself a lot, and now with all these reserves of energy, he's fighting at full force. They know Jiren's strong, but the three of them fight him regardless. Vegeta lends some of his excess energy to Goku, letting him power up back into blue. And surprisingly enough, Frieza even comes out, joining the fight against Jiren. But still, even with all this power, it doesn't seem like it's enough. Jiren still has the upper hand against the four of them. Despite outnumbering him, they don't overpower him. But maybe if Goku can use that power one more time, they could win here. He has to make use of Vegeta's energy, the one that Cabba granted to him before his universe was erased. He knows how much this means to Vegeta, and how valuable that energy is. Vegeta even finds it kind of funny in a way. Lending energy to Cabba a while ago helped him get Super Saiyan God, and Cabba's now paid him back. Goku knows this too after hearing all the stories and seeing the bond between the two of them. But also, his universe is at stake, his friends too. He focuses, remembering the feeling of Ultra Instinct, and he's able to access it once more. UI Goku jumps into the fight, and the four of them work to defeat Jiren. Jiren's about to power up even more, but they don't want to take the chance. Goku completely immobilizes him, and with support from his three other allies, they defeat the Pride Trooper, taking the win. For MVP, Vegeta gets that prize, and just as he promised, he revives everyone. Not just Universe 6, but with the great power of the Super Dragon Balls, he knows he could do better. In Universe 6 itself, everything suddenly reappears again. Everyone's confused, but they suddenly remember what happened. Cabba's glad. His master did keep his promise just like he expected. He's surprised that he won, and he has to pay it back to Vegeta somehow. He hopes to see his master again soon, but until then, he's gonna get stronger and stronger, using that blue form that Vegeta showed him. Kale and Caulifla still want to work towards a god form just so they're stronger, but for Cabba, it's more of a thanks to his master. Soon, they'll see each other again, and the fight between the two will be even greater than the last. He'll make Vegeta proud, and with that, we'll end this what if off here. So, what did you guys think about this scenario? If it were to continue, what do you think would happen next? Leave any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as clicking the bell icon to get notified about any future videos that I upload on my channel, including more like this one. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.